Thelochinistako says. Thelochinistako says. 19 seconds.
Good
Thelochinistako says.
job.
Record.
It's amigo.
Thelochinistako says. I totally didn't mute stream on accident. Botrix says.
Good job.
Botrix has correctly joined the channel.
Does it count as being here early? If you muted me?
Thelochinistako says. Thelochinistako says. I'm sorry, Yai.
Alright, look, we had this character, and in this one I will have to be doing a bit of design. Because the only art I have is the full body. No, sorry, this bust. So I have to design the rest of their body. And, well, there's not that much to work with. But that means there's not that much to get caught up in either.
Thelochinistako says. This'll be fun.
Possibly. I was collecting ideas for the clothes. As for the rest of the design, there's a lot of options.
Thelochinistako says.
But
Clothes look interesting.
like it could okay, if it's a she, I could make her just fucking pure white with just like blue accents in the tails and ears. There's a hint of purple in her eyes. I could find a way to incorporate it. It's interesting. There's like a layout. Yeah, $40 for a starting bid is really, really high if you don't have serious clientele. Like a serious, like a loyal crowd. And it doesn't really make sense. Okay, starting bid 40 and then auto buy 60. It doesn't give people a lot of room to bid up the price. Now, I'm gonna send you one more, but this one, I'm not even sure why the bid is so low. This one. Started with the starting bid of 4. Maybe it's because the minimum increase was weird. They had a minimum increase of $2. Just weird to me. I like looking at the posted adoptables, really to see people's layouts. How people lay out the design, like especially like the full body and the chibi. But there's one that's like interesting, but they only have one bid and it's a self bid. I do like the layout.
Delochinestaco
Interesting.
says. Self-bidding is a thing?
Yeah, but it's not always a scam. It could be that they have it on other platforms. But usually you have to kind of make that clear in the description, and I'm not saying. Like the design isn't that good or that bad. The art is like really good, but it also doesn't. I don't know. There's some things that don't make sense. Like the title of the art is custom adoptable, which is an oxymoron. But I just like the layout. I'm stealing it.
Delochinestaco says. Layout is nice. Delochinestaco says.
But I didn't send it to you yet.
Professional.
I didn't send it to you yet. What I sent you just now.
Delochinestaco says. Oh, I thought you were talking about the other one.
Yeah, the one that says just adopt number 4. That one, the layout isn't bad. It feels like a bit of wasted space. I would have made the close up way more close up.
Delochinestaco says. Show me the better one then.
Is this one here? The one that's on the screen. On my canvas. Cliento. Like a serious, like a loyal.
Delochinestaco says. It does catch the eye better.
Starting bid 40 and then auto buy 60. It doesn't give people a lot of room to bid up the price. Starting bid of 4. Maybe it's because the minimum increase was weird. They had a minimum increase of $2. Just weird to me.
Delochinestaco says. Are you playing audio?
Yeah, actually, I'm listening back to my own stream. I cannot tell if I have mumble mouth or it is the mic settings. Am I being articulate at all? They only have one bid and it's a self bid. Peter Piper picked a peck of pickled
says,
peppers.
You sound
What I
fine to
said you
me.
just now. Peter Piper picked a peck of pickled peppers.
I will say I think the mouth settings muffle your voice a bit.
Number 4.
Delochinestaco says.
Isn't bad.
Like compared to the Telegram.
Feels like if you want the raw me, I would have made the close raw up
me
would be like more close up. This is raw me without no filters.
Delochinestaco says.
Rah, rah, rah,
I don't know
rah.
if raw is best for stream.
Rah, rah, rah,
Delochinestaco
rah.
says. But I liked it. Delochinestaco says.
Rah.
It's very quiet now.
Rah. If I have mumble mouth or it is the mic settings.
Captain Price the second says. Hello.
Hello, Captain Price the second.
Captain Price the second says. How are you doing today?
I'm doing fine. I'm testing out my mic settings.
Stream is so quiet.
I want the raw me. The raw me would be like.
Delochinestaco says. I'm not saying you need to fix it. Delochinestaco says. But it's bugging me. Captain Price the second says. Hey querrieoh, do you have a boyfriend?
Yes, and his name is Manwa. Yeah, I don't know why it's so quiet. I couldn't mess with the gain
says,
here.
Like I have you capped out and it's fairly quiet.
It was okay. Is this the gain? Oh, that's not the. Yes, this is the gain. I'm playing with a
Delocinastaco says.
microphone gain.
That went down. Delocinastaco says. XD. Captain Price II says. Hey querrieoh, have you ever played the Last of Us game?
I am not. You know, I don't really hate the raw. Okay, that's weird how YouTube is really in sync. I feel like YouTube is not that lagged.
I don't think it's bad.
Okay, but I'm just gonna do a final test of the filtered versus the raw. Do, 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 this is a test of the automated training system.
Captain Price II says. Hey querrieoh, have you ever played Beowulf the game?
I don't know. I don't know which filters to turn off. Mm. I don't know, Tagos. You were the one that started conversations with like a random. Here's a random fact of the day. You don't got no. You don't got no place to stand. Wait, what if I turn off the EQ? What if I turn the EQ back on? I don't know.
Delocinastaco says. Alright, I got alert for a bit, sorry.
It's fine. Okay, I'm giving him more gain. I don't know. Um. Um. Okay, what is a word that starts with H? Because I feel like it's cutting off my H's.
Delocinastaco says. Remind me later to tell you about the thing I was thinking about when I first came to your stream, lol. Delocinastaco says.
I'll send you a screenshot of this. Wait. Home. 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 I'm doubting if I can even speak correctly. Alright, I'm turning off the EQ and seeing what happens. Then I'm turning off the Maria X comp.
Delocinastaco says. You sound funny.
I don't know what I sound like. I don't know anything about anything.
Delocinastaco says. I know you sound like querrieoh.
What even is a Rio anymore? Okay, if it is too quiet, I'm just gonna turn on one thing.
Thelochinistako says. A person who has a certain name who lives in a certain place and claims to exist.
I never claimed such things. I never claimed such things.
Thelochinistako says. Okay, I claim ext.
Yes, I am the figment of your imagination, sir. Yes, I am the figment of your imagination, sir. Maybe it was all a microphone positioning issue all along. Maybe it was all a microphone positioning issue all along. Maybe it was all a microphone positioning issue all along. Anyway, I am now going to stop. I will stop playing with my voice. I will trust that it is not horrible. That it is not horrible. Right. Peter Piper picked a peck of pickled peppers. Alright, well, I am at least 1% certain that most people will be able to understand most of the words that I am saying. And if they cannot, then I can only plead my apologies. And I don't know, hope that I can suddenly, overnight, become a trained voice actor that has a very clear and understandable voice. That is all for today. Now for the drawing. Okay, let's make this tighter. Let's make it almost a square. Okay, like 2 colors is maybe too little. But I also don't need, you know, a full rainbow. Ooh, let me go look up a palette. Hey, look, I knew that this was mint blue. I'm not gonna sign up to get a color palette, okay?
Thelochinistako says. That sounds gay.
Super gee. And like, I don't want to add pink, because pink goes well, but that's too close to the train flag. There's like a salmon color, but it's also pretty close. There's like maybe this one. I don't know. I like this. This is more of kind of that salmon color. But I was thinking like real dark for the outfit, anyhow. And like this color palette does not even feature the the mint green that's already on the drawing, on the design. Yeah, most of the color palettes on this website are just combos. Hmm. Gotta color this HSM. This one does not have. Okay, one website is recommending Atomic Tangerine and Indian Red. I don't know. I don't know. I don't know. A lot of purples being recommended. Okay, they're saying this is aquamarine. I will consider this one. Color palettes are hard. Everything in life is difficult. You just make yourself.
Thelockinistako says, true, I spend like half my time doing my models working on colors.
This time, they would say something around the lines of FaZe became corporate. This is in reference to the bloated private equity version of FaZe I've been talking about. But obviously the massive problem with that was the same uniqueness that made FaZe.
Yeah, I mean, especially painting it physical.
Gone. And only a year later, the stock had completely collapsed, causing the former CEO to get terminated. FaZe was then acquired by GameSquare Holding, which ended up later on appointing Banks as FaZe's new CEO. And this was after Banks bought a 25% ownership into FaZe Media for $9.5 million. And what's important here is he bought into FaZe Media, not their esports side of the business. So why is this relevant? Well, Banks rebranded FaZe, brought on a new generation of FaZe talent, moved them into a stream house, and tried to make this like new age version of the old FaZe house. And I would say all around, that was a massive success for FaZe. But unfortunately, that was only one of two streamer houses that he started. He also had this other group called Probably Nothing. And
curlier
here
hair.
he had a handful of other members. Frank D-Gods, Thread Guy, OG Shoots, Rasmer. I think that was everyone. I could be missing some. But some of them are relevant because of what happens later on in this video. And overall, Probably Nothing, I think, turned into
I don't even know a species. I just know it has
Banks, because you constantly
goofy ears like this.
on various live streams.
Bought today, and Banks is always early. Wow. Think about that's the simple science. Wow. Right? Banks bought Goat and Zero Bro today. Banks is always early. Your boys by Zero Bros and Banks is always early. Banks is always early. So what you guys do the math?
Because if anything, a lot of their live streams just made them come across as Very shady, to put it lightly. And it also really did not help that a lot of the stuff they were buying and hyping up on their live streams kind of turned into what their name was, worth probably nothing. But you may have seen these people in the stream with Aiden Ross while he bought the meme coin MLG. And I guess you would also see them in that leaked Haktua episode where they were trying to like do damage control for a Haktua girl. But the latter is kind of irrelevant. It's the stream with Aiden and these probably nothing guys that got us here in the situation today. Because what a lot of people may be asking is, WTF is MLG coin? Well, MLG stands for Major League Gaming, which originally started with hosting Halo and Smash Bros. Tournaments. It actually became the first televised esports league in 2006, and eventually they added Call of Duty, StarCraft, and League of Legends to its programming before it was finally acquired by Activision Blizzard. And like many things that touched that company, it was all downhill from there, at least for the company. Online culture, they had other plans. They took its branding and merged it with satirical gaming culture, and then you had people like Snipers, Pyrocynical, and Roman, and many others that repopularized the MLG name alongside of Mountain Dew, Doritos, hit markers, joints, and Snoop Dogg. And it's safe to say that that ran its course until the cow was completely milked dry by late 2016, early 2017, and that's at a stretch.
Yeah, it's gotta be more
fast forward like what,
gotta
7 or 8
be
years
not-
until
not
crypto
too
hell. A
far.
website called Pump Fund launched, where any moron could launch their own crypto token with just a few clicks. And someone launched a coin called MLG. And this is clearly not associated to Major League Gaming, Activision Blizzard, or any of the original MLG montage YouTubers. Banks, for some reason, I guess, saw this bundled coin and decided that he was going to make this his identity and shill it pretty aggressively. And this is even though it was extremely bundled. According to Bubble Maps here, more than 25% of the supply was in control by a handful of people by the time banks started buying into it. So here's a screenshot of the wallets in control of MLG coin the days he was buying it to begin with. And obviously, I know for any normal person looking at this, you're probably like, what? So, TLDR, this is a normal wallet. TLDR, this is a normal wallet. And this is someone or a group of people who has spread out their tokens between a whole bunch of wallets, trying to make it look like they don't own as much of the token as they really do. That right there is called a bundle or a cluster, which will become important later on in this video. And fast forward a few months, Aiden, obviously still upset about this situation, had a rant about it on stream, but he didn't mention banks directly.
MLG is up, you're good. Ban him out of my chat. Aladar, you're a sucking beast, bro. All those crypto kids, they're nowhere to be found, bro. They stole millions of dollars from innocent people, bro. We don't see about them anymore, hang around them anymore. They're nowhere to be found, bro. Them. What the f have they been on, bro? They're like hiding away somewhere underground. It's insane, bro. They bought like bunkers and shit.
So obviously, Banks was called a scammer by a bunch of people because he stupidly made a coin his identity and kept promoting it to his followers. He was also the one who brought this coin to both Aiden Ross and his fans. And one day, I guess he just broke and sent this really weird message to the MLG chat blaming Aiden Ross for the reason it collapsed. Aiden Ross effed this up. This community dumped on him buying, used him as exit liquidity, his ego got hurt, blamed Frank, him and Frank got into it privately. Aiden despises Frank and spins and drives a narrative about Frank selling. Somehow this falls on me and the threads to farm, the whole situation spins into me selling and dumping coins. When I ran this thing up from $3 million to $200 million, organically, top blasted multiple times, invested a F ton of money, and never ever ever sold. The only bad actor in this entire thing is Aiden. Point blank, period. Hold up, what? Why would you ever say this about your friend that you convinced to buy? The only reason Aiden was in this project is because you flew out to Florida and had him buy it on stream. What is going on here? So obviously,
I don't know if I'm hallucinating, if there's things really crawling
I've
on
never
me, but
scammed anyone a day in my life.
I
The
hate it
entire
very
narrative
much.
is unfair, and a part of the reason it exists is cause my phase name is so easily farmed and manipulated. The fact this is affecting the guys at all is whack, so for the time being,
The
I'm going to be
Lock in a
stepping away
says,
from not only phase,
"What are
but
you,
all of this
Hallucination?"
internet. It's destroying
No,
my
I
life
just
inside
have
and
a
out.
feeling
that
that things
My
are
entire
crawling
life
on me.
was ruined over
Hallucinating.
something I didn't even do.
Hallucinating?
The real ones know. I wish I could say I'll be back, but I really don't know if I will. Okay, so that tweet has
The
since
Lock in
been
a
deleted,
Stacko
but
says,
an old roommate and teammate of his,
The Lock in a
FaZe Rain,
Stacko says,
chimed in with this.
drugs.
I mean, I saw a lot what Banks said.
The only
I saw
drug I'm
him
on
being
is
huge
sleep
tone about defending
deprivation.
himself, but one thing I haven't seen him say is if those DMs are real or not, what he said in the chat. It seems like he's kind of dancing around that topic.
The Lock in a
Like, we all,
Stacko says,
we all make
"That'll
mistakes,
do
but
it."
it's all about taking accountability for a lot of stuff, right? It's like, hey, bro, like I said that My fault. I was wrong. I threw you under the bus when, you know, I should take blame for that. I made that stream happen. Like, bro, I genuinely couldn't believe it when I saw that message, especially like the way it was worded. When I read that shit at the end saying there's only one bad actor in this and it's Aiden, I was like, what the like, that was a crazy thing to read, right?
And then to make things even worse, the guys behind the MLG coin claims Banks tried to cut them out several times and take control of the project. So that shows that he had a lot more, or tried to have a lot more, to do with the project than what he was leading on to. And then some loose allegations towards Aiden Ross's manager started to come out, claiming that Aiden Ross's manager used to work with FaZe for many years. And then they provided some out of context clip of Aiden saying that the manager owed Aiden money for all this Banks stuff.
Bob, you owe me money for the crypto with Banks, where someone tried to impersonate Banks and you vouched.
So how out of context that is, I'm not sure, but it does become relevant later on in this video. But Aiden then responded to this whole situation by saying the Banks screenshot is real. Sad. If you guys think that MLG being rugged was me, I'm sorry to tell you it wasn't. There's a reason that entire house is silent. Truth will come out eventually. I'm just more hurt on the fact someone I call my brother is behind my back. So obviously, Banks then got even more backlash. So then he went back to Twitter and he said, for the time being, I'm going to be stepping away from not only FaZe, but all the internet. It's destroying my life inside and out. FaZe Rug ironically had absolutely nothing to do with that, though. That's just a very unfortunate name in today's crypto age. Banks did go on to Aiden Ross's stream where he had plenty of things to say. And watching this stream is honestly kind of crazy because I'm shocked at how easy it was.
I mean, it's an interesting expression, but I don't know if it matches the character. Just of the character, there's not much of the character, so I can kind of do whatever I want.
But instead, Banks just kind of sweet talks and gaslights him for an hour, and it's almost like Aiden just kind of bought it, or at least he did so while on call.
Yeah, I don't know if it matches, but it is cool.
Yeah.
How did we get in this mess, man?
You got everyone in this mess. What are you talking about, dude?
The Lockinus Taco says,
from you
it's
speaking,
your character now. It's anything you want, LOL.
We'll get to the
I want to be finished drying.
How long?
Years. We have a lot of history together.
Years and years and years. We live together. We can talk to each other about anything. Me and you have had one issue between each other our entire lives, the entire time knowing you. What is it?
What? I don't know.
MLG.
Oh.
This whole MLG thing. The only time me and you have had any weird energy, all this weird back and forth, the miscommunications, the talking between Tav, has been over the stream that we did 6 months ago. And this whole narrative around Frank and everybody in that room scamming people. And for the last 6 months, Frank's been getting farmed to be some kind of scammer. This MLG thing goes to zero. It looks horrible on everybody involved. I am the only person with any sort of namesake. Me and you have a real relationship. So now a narrative forms where it's like I'm scamming. It makes it look weird between me and you. Me and you get on the phone. You tell me, I know you're not scamming. I know you're not scamming. But then these pages are posting, Banks is scamming, Banks is scamming. Bro, this thing spirals to the point where I fall for bait. I post in this chat. You read it. It was a whack message. I should have just called you again. But I just feel like the story and all the details of it haven't been properly represented. And everybody involved feels that way.
Okay, so I'm kind of confused in why he didn't immediately apologize for bringing both Aiden and his community into this awful investment. Then somehow blame Aiden for everything. Either
The face is a little too chubby.
Pretending to be a moron. Like, he flew out to Florida.
Faces are hard, especially when I had spent a lot of time wanting to do like a manly face yesterday. I don't remember like a good furry face.
How did he ever think this was going to go over well? Banks is essentially the wolf in sheep's clothing, bringing all the sheep to the other wolves here, because this would be a disaster no matter what. We've already established with bubble maps, the coin was heavily bundled when Banks got into it, so it's not like it would be too different from when you got Aiden into it. So either way, the supply was in control by very few people. What I do want to say, though, is I have not been able to find any wallets tied to Banks that have taken profits or sold off
references.
MLG coin. I also contacted Bubble Maps about this, and they have not been able to verify anything either as of recording this video. So at least for now, it doesn't look like Banks used MLG coin to make money. If anything, it seems like he lost not only money on it, but also a lot of career reputation here. So I'm leaning to the side that Banks was just being a moron here, and they really thought this coin was going to go into the multiple billions of dollars and that they would all make money somehow.
Listen, let me put it into context for everybody. And this is all facts. Aiden, fact check me or not, call me out, whatever. I mean, after the last 48 hours what we've gone through together, we all know where we're at, and we all know what facts are facts. Facts?
What does that even mean, dude?
We fly to Florida to do a crypto stream. All of us, right? You expressed interest in buying MLG. Do you remember what I said on that? The VOD
Okay.
should still exist.
There's a style I can try to go
Do you
for.
remember what I said?
I didn't watch the stream. I haven't watched the stream back.
Somebody go find the VOD and clip it if you want. I said not to
More
buy it on stream.
examples
Remember that?
needed.
Yeah, I watched that entire stream and I did not hear him say that.
The moment you bought it on stream, the truth is the community dumped the coin. It doesn't even logically make sense that anyone in that room dumped the coin. It doesn't make sense. Our wallets trading it are public with millions of dollars in it. Why would we give that up? Why would we start dumping it live on stream to lose millions of dollars? It doesn't even logically make sense.
Yeah, like I wanted to make the full, or you know, like the big view.
But also, sadly, it's almost impossible for us to verify if he had any other alt wallets, if he had decent
More
wallet hygiene.
mature.
So either way, this should be the biggest wake-up call for all influencers to never endorse or market any microcap. They are microcap, honestly. Any microcap projects, especially if the only use case of the project is number of investment go up. That's a Ponzi, and it's 100% a certifiable way to destroy your reputation.
You never thought I scammed you anyways, period. It was always between the other guys. That's what you always said.
I will say this, yes. I thought I was under the impression because people were telling me that I got scammed by the other people in the room. Yes, that's what I.
And by the way, that's completely and entirely fair.
That's why I keep getting no results. On Pinterest, I keep the search. It's on my pins, not all pins.
It's because you're affiliated, and I understand.
Yes. Okay, so I get looped in this, and then we get into this loop, and it obviously puts weird energy between us.
No, I know. I agree. It's definitely weird between us.
And honestly, it's not any more fucking spicy than that. Nobody ran away with millions of dollars. Aiden lost 50 racks even. I lost 100K. Frank lost hundreds of thousands of dollars. People made millions of dollars off this coin, by the way. I bought this at $3 million, fully endorsed it, fully backed it, ran with this narrative that it's the gamer coin. It was a legitimate community with an amazing narrative during a good time.
This will make it interesting. And do this stuff.
So here he just kind of admitted that he brought the sheep into their final destination with that stream.
You and I have had a weird relationship for the past 6 months, to be honest.
Facts. We've been talking through Tav. We've been not talking as much. It's been weird. It's all based around this thing, and real emotions are involved. You guys got to keep in mind, the people watching the stream, this isn't some like PR scripted thing. Me and Aiden really have real history. I met this kid before he had 10 viewers. We were taking pictures at bars. He's asking me for pictures, and then he came and lived with me in Rice, and we like really came up together on some, and like that's real. Never had an issue. Aiden, me and you have never had a singular problem since before this.
Dude, it's just been, like I said, like I obviously, like I've always looked up to you as like my older brother. Like, you know that. But
and I've always loved you. I've slid for you. I've been there for you too.
But literally 2 days ago, he completely throws his so-called day one friend that he came up together with under the bus, even though it was him that got his friend into this whole MLG thing in the first place. This whole conversation just seems so manipulative.
And Aiden, to both of our credit, how many times did you say, yo, this guy said it's a good idea if I drop a coin? And what did I say to you every time?
Yeah, that's true. You said no.
I said, no, Aiden, we can't do that. If anybody was in a scam mindset, by the way, that's the scam. For the people who don't want to understand the nuances of crypto, it doesn't logically make sense. We're live sitting there. We're dumping a coin live, physically behind your back, and just losing millions of dollars on in other wallets. We have these secret side wallets.
The conclusion I'm having with this is they were both acting like morons here and not scamming. Although the bar is set very low when we're like, well, at least we didn't launch our own crypto token.
I came out the cut to help bring the face back. I think we did that. I'm good. These boys got it from here. I'm 33 years old. I don't have a kid. I'm a bum standard, so I'm gonna just focus on that.
But I think dwelling on that, you know, I don't know.
It's not even a dwelling thing. Genuinely, brother, I'm happy. Again, all I care about is my real relationships.
Okay, so he was publicly outed for throwing his friend under the bus, and then I guess now he's retiring, which is why I'm referring to both the gambling money and the meme coin money, which is also pretty much gambling money as well, dirty money. Because this led a dude who's in the top 0.1% of net worth in the world to throw a friend that he calls a day one friend and family under the bus. That's dirty no matter what you call it. Because This is why I'm saying he built and destroyed his career off of dirty money.
How we fell in this in the first place is I fell for bait. I read into a tweet, you scammed your friend Aiden Ross, you piece of shit. This kid had MLG in his name. So I went into the MLG chat. I said, yo, I'm just going to let you guys all know. I'm about to sell this whole fucking thing. I've held this thing to zero. And I got people in this community saying like this and just went off, threw you under the bus. Honestly, dude, say whatever you want. If they want you to rip me apart and you're going to rip me apart for the sake of a community wanting you to rip me apart.
They want me to go deep on you, bro. They want me to go deep on you how I do with like the Dochis and like all these other people on the internet. But it's like I have a real history.
That's not real, but that's not reality.
I have a real history with you. That's why I'm like I'm just hurt.
I mean, honestly, there's nothing Banks said here that made sense to why he would throw Aiden under the bus here. But he does go on to kind of take some accountability.
I don't blame you whatsoever. Like you tried your best. Nobody's blaming anybody, bro. I'm not saying it's your fault. To be honest with you, it's 100% my fault.
You know me, bro.
Let me get this off real quick. I should never ever have talked about any coin or any asset as like unreliable or whatever. Like I don't even know what the word is for this, but there's a reason why since this has happened, I'm on some buy Bitcoin, crypto punks. I'm not talking about anything else.
Volatile and low market cap might be the words he was looking for, but either way, at the end of the day, both of these guys are at fault here for doing a stream like this, endorsing a low market cap crypto coin in front of so many people. And it seems like they realize this now. But a clip from the interview that really gave me whiplash was this.
The majority of my day yesterday on the phone with everybody from family to phase members to employees to my friends and everybody across the board that I care about, that I work with, that I have any meaningful relationship with, loves me, knows who I am, and this hasn't changed anything. As long as there's only one person that I have weird energy in the air with, and it's you.
Dude, you didn't throw any of them under the bus. What are you talking about? Of course they don't feel like that to you. You didn't throw them under the bus. No one, Aiden has all the rights in the world to feel like that to you. That doesn't make sense. Also, I kind of got suspicious about this clip.
Can I ask you a question?
Anything, brother. Anything.
What does bundled mean? What does that mean in crypto? I don't know what that means. Like a bundle?
I'm not too super familiar either. I think it's when a bunch of wallets adjacent and close to each other and have traded back and forth between each other own, like, to be honest, I can't speak to it. That would be a question that I would ask. Like,
no, yeah, because I don't know anything about these terms either. That's why I'm asking you.
Yeah.
Okay, so he was in the ballpark there, but what's odd about this is he referred to bundles 24 hours later. So I guess enough of that. Remember the allegations about Aiden Ross's manager, Toph? Well, Aiden just announced that he fired that manager.
Guys, as you guys have been sticking around me for a very long time, you know I've been dealing with a lot of bullshit behind the scenes. So I'm just gonna let you guys know that Toph and I are 100% split ways. I'm not messing with Toph anymore. He's not messing with me. And I wish you nothing but the best of luck and stuff like that. But Aiden and Toph is not a thing. I don't have a manager. I don't have an active manager. I ain't gonna lie to y'all, bro. I got this. We got this. By the way, it's all love to Toph. I don't want people. I saw what was going on in the community. I don't want the family y'all were leaving on him and stuff like that. Don't go after people's families. It's nothing to do with him, bro. Honestly, and I don't even gotta tell y'all the details about what happened. It's really nobody's business. I'm just gonna leave it like that.
Then his stream chat wouldn't move on, so he got frustrated.
Hey, guys, with all due respect, please ban Toph's name from my chat and please take out the emote, please. I'm not joking, bro. Let that move on. Let's get past it. No reason for me to bring that back up. Let's just get over it, all right?
Now, obviously, we can speculate what happened as it's perfectly timed up with the recent allegations, but at the end of the day, who knows? Well, the timing's interesting. But Aiden did have some final words for Banks.
It's not about being spineless. It's just about what's the truth and what's not the truth. Cut them off then. It's not your business whether I cut him off or don't cut him off. I don't speak to Banks all the time. We speak here and there, but I consider that somebody that changed my life in many ways. Family to me, bro. Let's not act like he didn't move me in a crib, never charged me for rent, said don't join FaZe Clan because it's ran by a bunch of CEOs and weird people. I have history with him. So sorry I'm not going on stream saying FaZe Bank, let's FaZe Bank. Sorry I'm not doing that. Instead, I'm just going to say I'm hurt. And it was up what he did.
And I guess that's all we have for now. So Banks is no longer the CEO of FaZe. I don't know how long that'll last though, but it looks like his career was both built and destroyed off of dirty money. So hey, if you guys are new here, please subscribe as we cover laughably stupid stuff that unfolds in the internet daily. Drop a like on this video if you enjoyed it, and I'll see you guys in tomorrow's video. Peace. This plane just had to emergency land after some dude peed in the aisle because
I am trying very hard to stay awake.
I would have to say that out loud.
An American Airlines
But I
flight
did,
from Chicago to Manchester,
something
New
on
Hampshire
the
was
sketch.
forced to make an emergency
See, eyes are
landing
even
in
lower.
Buffalo, New York. after a passenger got absolutely hammered drinking Jack and Cokes. He allegedly exposed himself and urinated on the plane's aisle.
I mean,
I
you're
guess
at
what's worse
45
than a
mint
drunk
a
idiot
good
on
time
land
to
would be
sake.
a drunk idiot thousands of feet in the air. Imagine you're just mid-flight, minding your own business, maybe watching a movie, enjoying some high-mile snacks, and then you just look up and see a dude just peeing in the aisle.
says,
And no, not
go
by
to bed,
accident,
please.
just fully standing there in the middle of the
Oh
plane.
no, you're even
pants
saying
hugging his
please.
ankles like it's a personal urinal 30,000 feet in the air.
Hi, how are you? Good, how are you? Okay. What's going on today?
says,
Nothing
I worry
really.
not.
No, nothing really?
I mean, the plus side is that I don't work tomorrow. Hope you know that.
I'll stand by all those police officers right there for me.
See, I feel like without any context, this first interaction would seem somewhat normal, but then I guess the police officers get a description of the events, and that quickly changes things.
The curtain closed. I was eating. I heard like a trickle of water. So I'm thinking like, something coming down. I hear her say, "Excuse me," like really.
Oh, wow.
says,
everywhere.
I do know that,
Put him in handcuffs.
but you need to get a good sleep.
Okay,
Let
yeah,
your
put
body
him in
rest for a
handcuffs.
bit.
Like, you can just imagine the conversation that night at home. Like, how was your day today? Not too bad.
Pee everywhere.
But okay, here's the breakdown. An American Airlines flight from Chicago to Manchester, New Hampshire. The plan: fly the plane from point A to point B without any interruptions, getting everyone there on time. Except that didn't happen because one man by the name of Neil McCarthy made his bladder control part of that plan and exposed himself to half of the people on that flight.
So you're in Buffalo, New York. What day of the week is it? Today is...
says, he'll bug you again soon.
I got off on...
I
I literally woke up this morning. I'm trying... How about this? Do you know the month? Yeah, we're in July.
This f***ing guy, dude. This guy. Oh, man. But he did eventually get the day with a little bit
Okay,
of help.
well, I'm gonna go to sleep at this
Only
point.
gets worse.
He'll tell you to go to bed again.
On the plane.
That's fine, I'm going to bed right now. At least I got this.
Good.
I didn't make any commotion, I don't think. Oh. Okay. Did the flight staff come up to you at all? No. No one came up to me. I didn't talk to anybody. Okay. The whole time. All right. I didn't talk to any flight
Patrick
staff
says,
or anything.
querrieoh, you
from
leveled
me
up to level
you
4.
guys right now.
says,
No.
you survived work and started a whole new sketch. Hell yeah.
All right. That's why I'm so shocked at what's going on right now. Well, I'm going to show you a picture.
Alright, well, good night, everyone. I know it wasn't a lot of progress, but we're gonna get there. I don't know, I feel like I'm suddenly back at 0 art-wise, like, I have no idea what I'm doing, but
Can you tell me what the picture
it's fine. I think I have to use a lot more references. There's good and bad to that. I mean, bad is that, I rely on references to do art. And the good is I'm exploring different styles.
This like strong stance of I didn't make any
We'll see what I can do
to
tomorrow.
photographic evidence of his
Good
public
night.
display, and his only response